for vision started not really knowing why. So I always knew I wanted to be an eye doctor. My parents weren't the biggest fan of that. They wanted me to be in computers.
Engineer.
What?
Engineer.
They wanted me to be an engineer. That is where they wanted me to be. They had no interest in me being in the world of eyes. As a child, I can't tell you how many times I went to my eye doctor because every couple of months, everything got blurry over and over again. So my mom is here today, so it's no fault to her whatsoever, but she just got me a new pair of glasses every few months. I had no idea that when you're reading, when the words move or float, wasn't normal. I was not a huge fan of reading. I wasn't a huge fan of school, but I was really good at memorizing things. And so I always did well, and I was able to push through. So finally, when I was 20 years old, I ended up getting LASIK. And that was a wonderful graduation gift from undergrad, but it really changed my visual system in a way where I didn't know how to really compensate for a lot of that. And I was going to go to optometry school. I always wanted to be an optometrist, mostly because I thought it was going to be a pretty easy career. I liked talking to people. I liked just that interaction. I knew I would never cut it in the world of corporate. I don't like when people tell me what to do. A lot of us who we're very rigid. We like things our own way. So finally, when I got involved in this world, I really got to see that that wasn't normal, and I got to kind of take a step back and really get to see all of these other things that really go into, okay, it is vision, but what else is going on? And it's really interesting when I get to talk to, because I have my sisters here as well, there's a lot of genetics with this as well, and it's interesting to I'm laughing because my mom's making faces, because once I started doing this, she got to kind of see that, okay, I had a lot of these things when I was a kid as well. And so the thing is, I was very lucky. I had an amazing support system, and there was no chance I wasn't going to be successful. And I think that is the hardest part about this is I know, and all of us know, that that's not the case of the majority. Most kids who have this and who suffer with this, it goes unnoticed. And most people don't have the resources to actually do anything about it. And it breaks my heart when I get patients who get either referred to my office and they call and they can't afford an evaluation, let alone what it costs to have therapy. And so it has been my entire dream to make this accessible, to make this known, and to make it be something that no one has to deal with. And the way to do that is to get into the schools and find a way where it's not just our little tiny little private practice of the few of us who do this, who the only way we can survive is by having to, again, it's expensive. And so that's really where I come into this, is I want it to be something that everyone can have. I want it to be something where we look for it, at a young age, so no one has to go through school struggling and doesn't have to. I'm tired of seeing these kids when they're 4th and 5th grade, and they are miserable. They hate school. They don't like to read. Their minds have been made up, and it's really hard to then change that. And that's what we do. And for the most part, this is what Lori here gets to do, and all the other vision therapists who are actually working with these kids, they get to really have to, from the bottom, from the ground floor up, change their mindset and give them all of these little tiny wins where eventually at the end, and it takes not forever, but it's this little tiny part of their life, but we have the power to completely change the trajectory of so many people's lives. And it's just a matter of being able to find them at a young age and get them the help that they need. And so when I met Sue, it was exactly, I think, is what we're all looking for, is for somebody to really see that and to actually make it happen. Because us as optometrists, there's only so much we can do. There's very few of us who even really get involved in this part. So I'm happy Dr. Shim is here, and we got a chance to team up as well, because there's not a whole lot of us who do this, but together we can finally, because this is something that I know all of us on our own would love to do, but it really takes all of us to do this together to really make sure that we can actually get somewhere with this finally. And I'm so excited of all the different things that we have planned. And so how I love Sue's passion and how we're going to make something happen. And that's awesome.